This video will show you how to create a purchase order and submit it to accounting. First, you'll click on the My Workspace, and you'll go to the tile that says New Purchase Order. And when you click on that, you get a new form here. The first thing that you're going to do is choose your vendor. And if their vendor after searching is not, it's a new vendor, you will need to submit the vendor information to accounting to set up the vendor. They will need the vendor contact, the address, the email information such as this. We're going to do this for a Bank of America. It was bought on a credit card. I want to make sure the credit card is the correct one, so Bank of America. I'm going to approve this myself. If I was going to send it to another leader to approve, I would change the name here of the owner or the leader to someone else to go to their approval. The next thing I'm going to do, if I want to find this quickly, right now with our setups and our lists for POs, this isn't as important to put a vendor reference, but if you have a vendor reference, you could do that, or to identify this PO in a different manner. The next thing you want to do is put in the description what this PO is generally for. If they're going to be numerous line items, then this could be something like drink team check-in kiosks. If that was what I was doing and was going to have several line items on this PO. But I'm only put one, so I am going to put the description that I'm going to use in the line item here and just copy and paste it. Amazon tells where the vendor actually was, because it's on a credit card. I've got to put the vendor into the line descriptions as well. So Amazon kiosk stands. You could also put the date they were purchased if you would like. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that copy that for my line description. On the document details, you're going to add you a line. The branch, make sure it's correct. The line description, as I said, I'm just going to copy and paste that in here. The inventory ID or item ID, this is where your project code goes. And I actually like to have this on the other side of my line description. I'll show you what happens. Whenever I choose the project code that's going to use for, if there is one, I'm going to put this on the West Auditorium remodel. And when I do that, you'll see that the project code has a default line description and default accounts, so it changed. That's why I like to have that first. Then if I use the project code, have that come in, and then I simply have to copy and paste or change it right there. And it's important that the line description match the name of the digital image or your receipt, so that accounting can know which receipts go with what if they were being looked for. So also the inventory ID or item ID has defaulted to a certain sub-account. Well, that's not my sub-account that I'm going to use for this, so I'm going to go ahead and put a different sub-account and change it. Make sure you change those or your expense will not be credited to the right account. I'm going to put it in 9620. Well, if I could get it the right one. There we go. And then your unit of measure right here, piece, should fill in. I'm going to go ahead then and put the amount for this line item into the estimated cost. And there is no other things I need to actually fill in for this line item. And then I will go and save. And when I save, it should automatically fill the amount in. If you had multiple line items, after you saved, it would add those line items together and give you a total up here. After you have entered all your line items with all the information, then you can add your digital receipt or invoice. And so you'll go to your folders where you have this stored in OneDrive or another folder if you had it. And I'm going to go and pick up this and drag and drop it into the header right here, and it will automatically put it into the files. Prior we were using the paperclip. We do not want to use the paperclip to add the receipt files any longer, because those will not go with the PO when it's converted to a bill. Right now, we will put all of the receipts into the header, and they will be loaded into the files. If you click on the files, you will see that they're right there. If you have several different receipts, it's fine. Just add them. This number is just going to change. For each line item, there may be a different receipt. What will happen if you put the same name? Do not name the same line description. If you have multiple names, it cannot be the same thing. If you do, it will add them all together into the same line item, and it will not differentiate. So the next step after you've added the files is to go to the Instructions tab and select the payment method. This was a credit card, and it says Bank of America, so we have to check then which Bank of America card it was. And it was church credit card. You want to add that. If you were needing a check cut, you would select this item here. Or if it was to be a EFT, electronic funds transfer, it would go right there. The next step is to save again. Then your PO is now ready to send to approval. If you are the approver listed in the owner right here, you will have to go to Actions and approve your PO. I forgot one important step. After you take it off a hold. When you take it off a hold, if you are the leader right here, you're going to have to go to Actions and approve it. If you take it off a hold and you, the creator, are not the approver, you selected someone else, you will not have to go to Actions and approve it. But you can check the approval details always and see who it's waiting on for approval. So as soon as I take it off of hold, it will go pending approval in the status right here. If you've done that and you find out, oh, it zeroed out, or I have an error, I forgot to add another line item, you can always go back and put it back on hold and make any corrections. If you've already sent the PO through approval and it's been approved, and then you find, or your approver sends it back for a correction, it will have to go back through the approval process. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to take it off a hold and go to Actions and approve. Because this amount is lower than my approval limit, it went straight to open and it's not waiting on another approver. If this amount was over my approval amount, it would have gone to pending approval, and you would have been able to see who approved, the approval details listed under the Approval Details tab. That is how you submit an approval And the PO will now go, and when it's in the open status, that means it is in accounting, ready to be made into a bill. Thank you.